I was living happily with a good income. You have a $30,000 payment. I was astonished when I received a phone call from my credit card company. What? There is no card. Immediately after I stopped the payment, my husband who was abroad made millions of calls to me. I understood everything and took action. My name is Demi, and I'm 29 years old. I am now a manager at a company. I met my husband Neville, who is the same age as me, when we were in college, and we have been married for 3 years this year. Many people around me left their jobs when they got married, but there is a reason why I am still working. In fact, I make more money than my husband. We don't talk about it, but I worry about our future with only my husband's income, and I'm sure he feels the same way. However, my husband is not what you would call a pimp. We have separate wallets, we split our living expenses 50-50, and I am allowed to do as I please with the rest of the money. Therefore, I was not particularly dissatisfied with the fact that we were working together, and in fact, we were living a comfortable life. Oh, I guess I spent a little too much this month, too. On the train on my way home, I frowned when I saw the debit notice email that had arrived. I should check again to see if there are any subscriptions I haven't used in a while, or if they are still registered. I closed the email with that thought. Most likely, that time will never come. I had forgotten the login password for my page, where I could view my credit card statements. It's hard to find the motivation. I have not been able to call the call center. To begin with, when in the world should a working person call the call center if it is only open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays? It is obvious that the lines are busy during the lunch break. Even so, I'm registered with a certain service, so I'll be fine. That is, if the monthly payment exceeds $10,000, the call center will contact you. Well, it is not wrong to say that this reassurance that everything will be all right has reduced my motivation to call the call center. But online shopping is a reliever from the stress of work. When I opened the delivery box and saw the parcel, I felt better. But it was only for that moment. I'm home. I opened the door to the living room and my mood plummeted like a roller coaster. Socks on the flooring, empty cans on the table. On the sofa was a phone and a sweatshirt. No, my husband in a sweatshirt. Yes, after my husband comes home, he doesn't take care of the house at all. Rather, he is actively doing nothing but making the house a mess. Hey! Socks. Empty cans. I say toward the sofa, and this is what I get. Oh, it's just a little something to put in the washing machine and the trash. You don't have to be so angry. You may just do it. It's so just, you could just do it. If you're home early, why don't you do something like clean the house or prepare my dinner? When I sigh and say, he said next. I come home tired. I have to put up with a convenience store lunch bag, too. I shrug my shoulders. I'm tired too. If you don't take care of the house, you should work, and either do the housework or the work, whichever you do best. Oh, shut up, I get it, I get it. When he repeated it twice, it was a sign that he was not feeling it. I glared at my husband. My husband, who left the living room without looking away from his phone at all, did not notice my expression. It is unfair that I do more work and housework than he does. Is it wrong to think so? No, I don't think so. But I wonder if I went a little too far. My husband has a twisted streak, and I was worried that he might get stubborn and make the house even more messy. But contrary to my anticipation, my words that day seemed to have an effect. Yes, since that day, my husband has been coming home late. Even the days when I came home earlier than him, they started to appear. Apparently, he was working overtime. He must have changed his mind. I was so happy that I began to put more effort into housework than ever before. I have to take care of the house because my husband is busy. Yes, it never occurred to me at the time that my husband was spending his time doing that. Yes, Neville's room. I guess he hasn't cleaned it for a while. I came home earlier than my husband that day and stepped into his room for the first time in a while. As expected, there were empty cans and plastic bottles strewn about. Throw this stuff away, oh, even on the bed. Then I looked into the bed and noticed. What's this? There was a gift-wrapped package there. I couldn't see it clearly, so I shined a light on it and saw that it was a bag of my favorite brand. Oh, could it be my birthday present? Yes, I had a birthday coming up just the following week. I winced, but decided to pretend I hadn't noticed the package and leave it alone. But on my long-awaited birthday, I never received the package. Hey, do you know what day it is today? Oh, it's your birthday, right? Yes, did you forget? No, oh, I remembered. Don't you have anything to celebrate? I gave it to you last year, didn't I? What? You did? I mean, you're old enough to be celebrated. My husband spat that out without a care in the world and went into his room. What do you mean? Then, that package? From that day on, I had been feeling something like uneasiness. It was just then that something happened. My husband suddenly said something like this. I'm going on an overseas business trip next week. What? An overseas business trip? I couldn't help but raise my voice. I don't remember your company being like that. You've never taken an overseas business trip, let alone a domestic one, have you? Then my husband said, I've been doing well lately, and that's why they gave me this assignment. Oh, really? If I had not seen the package, I would have believed him. But at that time, I could not accept my husband's words. On the day of his business trip, after seeing him off early in the morning, I entered his room with trepidation. Then, I looked under the bed. There was no parcel there. I knew it, this is not an overseas business trip, right? With this feeling in my heart, I managed to drag my heavy body to work. However, I was still in no condition to get any work done. My hand stopped many times, my phone was on my mind many times, and I kept thinking back to what my husband had said and done. Demi, are you okay? What? You look like your mind is not in your body today? Oh, yes, I just didn't get enough sleep. As I was making some harmless excuse, my phone suddenly started shaking. A strange number was displayed on the display. Normally, I would not answer a call from an unknown number, but I had a bad feeling about this and picked up my phone. Sorry, I have to leave for a while. Yes, ma'am. I went out into the hallway and pressed the answer button. It was the call center. I was thinking, oh no. It's not my husband, and oh, just as well, I need to disclose my password, and all sorts of other things were going through my mind at once. What was the requirement, anyway? Just as I thought that, the operator on the phone told me the answer. This is a call from our overdraft protection service, because you have settled over $10,000. $10,000? I could not believe my ears. But the next words of the operator made me hold my breath even harder. Yes, it is $30,000. $30,000? No, that can't be, wait a minute. I rushed back to my office and checked my wallet. It was gone. The card, which I was supposed to have put there. I put my phone to my ear again. Excuse me, can I stop that transaction? Yes, it's still tentatively confirmed, so you can stop it. Oh, thank goodness. I was just a little bit relieved. No, but don't let that be the end of it. I continued. And please deal it with card theft. I don't have my card on me right now. Yes, sir. I will make the process immediately. I was puzzled, but did as the operator asked and managed to complete the procedure and hung up the phone. Even after hanging up the phone, the palpitations in my chest did not quiet down for a while. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well. I can't work. I'm sorry, but I have to leave early. It seems my credit card was stolen and almost misused, and I've got a lot of things to deal with. I trailed off and called my boss. Everyone at the workplace was concerned about me, and my boss was willing to let me go home. I got on the train in a big hurry, and when I checked my phone, I saw that my husband had made millions of calls to me. It was as if he was saying he was the culprit. I hurried home. I took off my shoes, threw down my bag, and headed for my husband's room at once. I opened his computer, which was on his desk, and checked the search history. My eyes widened at the top of the list. Luxury cruises and travel packages for couples? I wasn't invited to such a thing. I checked the destination and was convinced. It was the business trip my husband had mentioned. No, he couldn't call it a business trip anymore. I went through my email history. There it is, this is it. The passenger's name is listed there. Serena? Who the hell is this woman? I was about to smash the keyboard in anger, but I crudely examined what I thought might be evidence. While I was checking, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Oh my God, shut up. Oh, yes, and while I'm at it, I'll use the password I got from the call center earlier to check my credit card usage history. I accessed my page and browsed my usage history. What is this? As I scrolled through, my mouth opened vertically more and more. There was a payment that I didn't remember. Then it was the payment for that brand bag. Oh yes, it's all connected. In short, Neville used my credit card to pay off his mistress named Serena, and even went on an overseas trip disguised as a business trip. Boo boo boo. No, I want to boo boo. I finally picked up my phone vigorously after several incoming calls. What? Over and over again. You finally picked up. The credit card isn't working. My husband was still talking about the card as soon as he opened his mouth. Whose? I asked him directly, and he mumbled. You ask whose? Absolutely. I don't have a credit card. In other words, you stole my credit card, didn't you? My husband became impatient at my words. No. It's not fair to call it theft. I just borrowed it. It's more convenient than cash when you're abroad. I use it for all kinds of things on business trips. Business trips. That's right. What if it interferes with my work? I said to my husband, who was deliberately trying to make it look like a business trip. What about a luxury cruise? What? Why do you ask that? Well, that's business entertainment. Entertainment for Serena? Why are you talking about Serena? Was she pleased with the brand bag? What are you talking about? You just called Serena in a friendly way, didn't you? And you're still going to pretend like you don't know her? What are you talking about? I know everything. I know that you went on a luxury cruise, that you went on a travel package for couples, that you tried to spend $30,000 there, and that you have been paying Serena a lot of money using my credit card. When I said this, my husband repeated twice, as if for some reason he had reopened the situation. I understand. I understand. I admit to cheating. I apologize. So please, activate the credit card. Otherwise, I can't go home. What's with that attitude? Do you think that just admitting and apologizing will make it go away? Please live in your resort for the rest of your life.
Nah.
I hung up the phone, ignoring my husband who was about to say something. The phone immediately started booing and booing again. It was so loud that it was driving me crazy, so I blocked the call at last. The return flight mentioned in the email was noon 3 days later. I immediately contacted the company and made up my mind to get everything done in those 3 days. For starters, I had to pull all of my belongings out of the house. Then, the second day. On this day, I took the divorce papers and my husband's computer to my parents-in-law to tell them what happened. My in-laws were furious when they saw my story and all the evidence. They apologized and promised me a divorce, $13,000 in alimony, and a refund of what he had spent. Then, in no time, it was the day my husband returned home. In the early evening, I received a call from my parents-in-law, informing me that our divorce papers had been safely accepted. To my surprise, my ex-husband had really taken no money except for the credit card, and the $30,000 had been replaced by the woman. Of course, the woman was furious and changed the ticket without permission before the return date and went back home ahead of him. I thought to myself why she didn't just take my ex-husband's ticket and passport and go back home. I was listening to the story thinking that. When my ex-husband returned home, he found that my belongings at home had been emptied out and my phone could not be connected, so he rushed to my parents-in-law. There he was severely reprimanded and made to write divorce papers. Incidentally, the woman is now also demanding a refund of $30,000, and the ex-husband is now rolling his eyes up into his head. His parents paid the money back once, but until he pays back the full amount, he is forced to live like a junior high school student with a 200 hours curfew under their supervision. After hearing from my in-laws what had happened and their contact information, I finally filed a $9,000 claim against the unfaithful woman and put the matter to end. When I returned to work the next day, many of my seniors and juniors at work were concerned and called me. "Demi, are you all right?" "If it's all right with me, I'll listen to the story." "Thank you. I am grateful to be working in such a warm company. I'll buy you a drink once in a while. Let's go out for a drink." "It's a bitching contest." "Really? Thank you." And I poured all the past, along with the beer, into the depths of my memory. It's so good. It looks like nothing but good things are going to happen from here on out. Yes, that's right, Demi.